The 2022 NFL Draft is the most important draft in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You think about 2021 being an insanely important draft class for the Jaguars. It was led by their franchise quarterback of Trevor Lawrence. There's a lot of players that are underneath that draft class that are just as important. Travis Etienne, this will be his first year playing in a regular season game for the Jaguars. Tyson Campbell really came on in the later half of the year. Walker Little, when he did play, showed incredible strides. Andre Cisco, same thing. There's a lot of talent kind of buried in that 2021 NFL draft class for the Jaguars that was kind of overshadowed by, obviously, Trevor Lawrence's struggles throughout some parts of the year. They're all projected to do well, but the Jaguars need more production. They do, and that's why I'm saying the 2022 draft is the most important in franchise history, far more than actually getting the franchise quarterback. You have the quarterback now. Help him. That is what makes this more important. Now, there's an absolute need for the Jaguars, obviously, to help him while he's on his rookie deal. With the multitude of options that they have at one, at the first pick of the first round, it's one of many difficult decisions, I think, for Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson to make. Obviously, you have Aiden Hutchinson, who is by far the front runner after the franchise tagging of Cam Robinson to be the number one pick in the draft. You have Evan Neal. Maybe he still is their target. Maybe Trayvon Walker, he's really snuck up. Maybe, they flip the table on its head. They go Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. Maybe they go Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. What happens if all of these crazy things happen? Whoever it is, they need to make sure the pick is an all-pro. They need to make sure this pick is a perennial all-star in the National Football League. Especially if you're going defense, I don't think you can really sell it to the fans that you took a Dante Fowler top kind of player. I don't think you can really sell it. Hey, we got Christian Kirk level production out of our number one round or our first round pick. That won't fly with fans. You need to have an all-pro player coming out of the first overall pick. Now, 33, 65, and 70 are, in my opinion, just as important as number one. Obviously, there's going to be gems that come out of this draft class. There is every year. We think about Telvin Smith coming out of the 5th round, Gardner Minshew looking like he could really be a starter in the league coming out of the 6th round. There's talent all throughout every draft class. It is just on the general managers to find it. Now, if the number one pick does go to the defensive side, then I absolutely think 33 has to go to the offense. If it's whether it be wide receiver or offensive line. Pick 33 is really difficult for me because if it's a wide receiver, it has to be that X receiver the Jaguars are lacking. You look at Zay Jones. Zay Jones might be our X wide receiver right now if we played a game tomorrow. We're a month out from the draft. We have yet to address the X position outside of a guy that, I am high on having good contributing ability, but not being the game-breaking number one wide receiver we need to have with Trevor Lawrence. Whether that be George Pickens out of Georgia, Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson from Penn State, any of those guys, find the number one wide receiver that you think will fit best with Trevor. Or maybe they go offensive line, they go Tyler Smith, they go Zion Johnson. Any of those players, it's imperative that the pick you make is an impact starter on day one. That is why I'm saying all of these picks, they need to be impact starters on day one. Pick 65. At this point, if they haven't selected a wide receiver, which is really not outside of the realm of possibility, say they do go Aiden Hutchinson, then they really like Zion Johnson for that open left guard spot, which, on paper kind of still is open a little bit, whether it be Barch or Sheriff going into that left guard spot. Left guard still open, so maybe they go with Johnson there. But if they have not taken a wide receiver in the draft at this point, I absolutely think that 65 is going to be the spot. You have to look at a wide receiver. David Bell from Purdue, if he's available, he's the one. He has insane number one potential. Big-bodied X-type wide receiver is what the Jaguars need. Now, Alabama wide receiver John Mechie. Both of these guys, if they're available, I'm saying this is who we want. This is going to be our X wide receiver for Trevor Lawrence. That is what we need. That is what we expect to have happen. Getting some help for Trevor. That is absolutely all we've been talking about, of whether it's someone blocking for him, whether it's someone to hand off to, whether it's someone for him to throw to. I think that's absolutely been Trent and Doug's MO, and that is absolutely the MO of all the fans. Help Trevor, help Trevor, help Trevor. Now, pick 70. This pick can have a lot of versatility. The Jaguars still have a lot of major needs. Linebacker, safety, and you could still make the argument for maybe a pass rusher or a corner. At pick 70, if there's some talent there, I absolutely think you should look at it. Obviously at this point, I think they're going to miss out on stud middle linebacker Chad Muma. He is going to be a stud in the National Football League. And if there's a trade-up opportunity for the Jaguars to go get Muma, I wouldn't be upset about it. I think he is going to be a stud. You think about some of the great linebackers in the Jaguars history, Darryl Smith, Paul Posluszny, Kevin Hardy. Those guys, that is who he is. He's a thumper, and that's exactly what they need to complement Foye Oluokun. And if he is not available, Leo Chanel out of Wisconsin. I absolutely love him. He's a middle linebacker, and he flies around and has absolutely that thumping mentality that Muma carries. He doesn't have the lateral speed or the quickness that Muma has, so he's obviously going to be selected a little bit later than him. Maybe they decide to go corner. There's a Penn State corner named Tariq Castro-Fields. I love him. He plays fast and he has crazy ball skills. I do enjoy him. I do enjoy watching his tape. I think he flies around the field and makes a lot of impact plays that could help, be that fourth corner, maybe a nickel corner, or eventually even play outside once the Jaguars look to move on from Shaq Griffin. Now, obviously the draft is over a month away. These things can change. I'll be doing more coverage as the draft nears closer. I'll be doing by-round coverage, individual player breakdowns that I like, all of these things. And so in order for you guys to be able to see all that stuff, I'd love for you guys to just subscribe, maybe even hit the bell so you know when I upload, because I'm going to be uploading a bunch of draft coverage coming up soon as well. While you're down there, hey, leave a comment. Who do you think they should be taking it? Pick 33, pick 65. Who do you guys like in those draft spots? As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and go Jaguars.
How about them Jags?